Well, good evening.
Oh, I am all set to play the intro. Come on. What are you doing to me here? Why are you doing this? There we go. Can you hear it?
Two ball guys and they're talking about hockey. Two ball guys and they're talking about hockey. Two ball guys and they're talking about hockey. Two ball guys talking about hockey. Two ball guys and they're 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 talking about hockey. And they're bald. And there's hockey. Hockey.
Well, good evening, everyone.
There we go. Is it playing again?
No, well, it started to, but now it stopped.
Okay, good. I'm not sharing it anymore. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome. We're back.
Yes.
I am stoked. I'm dying to talk about tonight's show. I'll let you start on it, Jack, because I'll post the link to everybody. But
Okay.
oh boy, am I excited!
So, the two of us are big fans of the NHL draft. So, this weekend was a lot of fun for us. And as Sens fans, we are very stoked about the draft that they had, and loved the moving up and down from the teams, different teams in the NHL. So a couple trades. It's a lot to talk about, and I'm excited. Can't wait.
Why is it doing that? Did I just
Okay.
post a link to a Taskmaster show? We're gonna have to cancel that. We're just gonna have to delete that post. Sorry, everybody. Okay, let's try this again. Where is our live stream?
Custom streaming service. Sign in.
There we go. Good.
Good.
Okay. I'm reposting the link for everybody
Okay.
to see. Okay. So yeah, the draft, man, that was the most interesting draft I have ever seen.
And I think there's two, well, there might be more, but there's two reasons for that. I think that past the top 10, every team probably had a different list from 11 until like
Oh
20
yeah.
until 40. From 11 to 40, they probably all had different lists. So
And
that was because
not even close lists.
I know, like
Like, wow.
Malcolm Spence going, where did he go?
23?
40.
Or no, sorry, 40, 42. Let me, you know what? I'm gonna call it up because I'm like, this is how excited I am. I want to do this. Okay.
So,
I have it ready to go here. Okay. I mean, we weren't gonna start this way, but let's start this way.
yeah,
Because there were so many of those, like just to start off, having Jack Nesbitt go at 12 blew me away.
yeah.
And
But
I
that's
like Jack Nesbitt, but holy shit. Apparently
I
somebody
thought it
liked
was a
more than
reach,
me.
and probably everybody else thought it was a reach, but Philly said that there was other teams that was looking at him. Like that who's Columbus and Vancouver were looking to take him at 14 and 15. And I think 13 also Detroit was looking at Jack Nesbitt. So
See, that wouldn't
I think he's
surprise
a
me,
third line center.
which is
But
what Detroit drafts every year.
obviously all of these teams think that he's more than a third line center, right?
Oh, he's
So
big and he can skate.
I guess. And then I think the other reason is the cap is at $95 million next year and 110 million the year after. So now
Is it
things are
going up to
starting to open up.
110?
Hey, is
Has
it
that been
110?
confirmed?
Is it 110? I thought that's what it was.
Okay, yeah. So there's Malcolm Spence at 43, which I'll be the first to say I wasn't the biggest on Malcolm Spence, but 43, I clearly have him higher than a number of these guys that he went after.
Yep.
Like I like Carter Amico, but holy shit, I'll take Malcolm Spence before Carter Amico any day.
Yes. But again, look, Carter Amico, right shot defenseman, big right shot defenseman.
Yeah.
Jacob Rombach, big right shot defenseman. Blake Fiddler, big right shot defenseman. And
Okay,
I
Mason
think
West.
Kettles is also a big right shot defenseman. I know he's big, but I think he's shot. He's right.
Yeah, Kettles is a big guy, 6'5".
Yeah.
And he is right.
Yeah.
Right shot.
So, and I think Simon Wang is the only one that was not like, so you saw a whole lot of a premium on big defensemen going early.
Yeah, and we saw that last year too, though, right? Like
You know?
a lot of D went in the first two rounds last year, especially that second round. And they were all like 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". The one the list that we posted for the league when we're guessing our ranking, the draft order.
Yep.
I had Jacob Rombach going as the last pick to Calgary as my little sleeper, sneak him in. And I was like, I've been big on Rombach for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was always going to be a third or a fourth round guy. And
But
I'm like, I don't think so. And I was almost right. He almost went in that first round.
so it's crazy. And then you have Sanika also. He's a like 6'4", 6'5" right shot. So the premium that was on the big defenseman brought everything up and
Yeah.
pushed down the smaller guys. And you know, the not like the skill, the workman guys like Spence and Van Sagi that pushed him down.
Well, and I think the reason to push them down was because those guys were getting drafted in the third and fourth rounds.
Yeah.
Those forwards that are like the big forward that's going to be a third or a fourth liner.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is what the third and fourth rounds of this draft were. Well,
Yeah.
I guess goalies too, because in the fourth round, goalies started dropping pretty quick.
So,
But wow. Wow.
and two goalies in the first round and three in the top 50.
Who had Pyotr Andreanov on their bingo card? Because
me
I liked him.
going to 20?
No, not at 20. Like I was thinking like third. Okay, most goalies start to go in the second round. So I was thinking like second, third round for Andreanov because he's Russian. Yeah. I figured he'd slip. But when he's picked 20th overall, when they announced it and they said Red Army, I was like, who the hell are they picking here? And then it was Andreanov. And I was like, what? Like, I was sitting with Zach when it happened. And I'll tell you, it blew me away. Blew me away. Or was I sitting with Zach? I might not have been. We might have gone our separate ways at that point. At one point, it might have been just after I'd gotten home. But, and the other one was, the one guy I wanted Ottawa to take when it got to their pick that they didn't take. And, Lyndon Lakovic, I never thought in a million years he'd fall to Ottawa. Ottawa would have a chance.
Yeah.
And I just wonder how, I want to know, honestly, I wish I could be in the room for this, just to know how close they were to taking him. Because I don't have a problem with them taking Logan Hensler. I prefer Fiddler slightly,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm good with Logan Hensler. That kid can skate.
Yeah.
But
And
when Lyndon Lakovic is sitting there, like they couldn't have thought that he was going to be there.
no, but I think the need for right shot D it was a premium for Ottawa.
But was
They've
it?
been oh, they've been looking for right shot D for like 5 years.
Okay, but they have Jakubchuk.
Yeah.
They just brought what's his face back from Sweden.
Lassie Thompson is at best a seventh defenseman.
See, I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be their sixth, but he's a right shot.
Yeah, but is he going to be ahead of Matt and Paolo?
Well, not this year.
So Matt and Paolo, but they didn't. You know what I mean? So
I,
they
I hear
needed
you.
quality. Like to me, that's Logan Ensler is a top four right shot D. Like with Yakimchuk, Ottawa once, like not this year, but like in 2 years, Ottawa's going to have Yakimchuk and Logan Ensler in their top four on the right side.
And like I said, I have no problem. I have zero problem with Ottawa taking who they took. Like I love Logan Hensler. I'm pretty sure he was in my top 15 on my draft board. I did not imagine he would be there for Ottawa. And when Ottawa traded back, I think it was because they were planning on taking one of the two guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they obviously had Hensler higher than Fiddler. But I figured they were planning on taking one of the two guys. And they were only dropping back 2 spots. Yeah. Predicted, by the way, by the 2 bald guys. We called that trade, although we thought it was going to be pick 26.
Yeah.
But we called it.
With Nashville. Yeah, we said they're going to trade back with Nashville to 26 so that way they could get 55.
So now we know that Steve Stais is
listening to our show.
A loyal follower.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to throw a couple other names down here at you. We can talk about them.
Okay.
The big one for me that I don't think should have been taken in the first round, and I get kind of why he was Mason West. Yep. Chicago's kind of throwing a dart at the board, but I think they're still kind of wasting a first round pick.
Well, that was their third of their first round picks that they had this year.
And they traded
up. I think they have, trying to look here, second round. Did they have a second round pick?
No, I think they traded it to get up and go get.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
They used that pick in like a third round or something later on for
to
go get Mason West.
Chicago has been accumulating a lot of assets, and I think at 29 they figured this is our chance to get a potential top 10 guy. If he keep, if he plays hockey and after this fall he commits to only playing hockey, I think they have a shot at getting a legit top 6 center.
If he wanted to commit to hockey, he would have committed to hockey. And like, I get the football thing, but he didn't. And that would push him down my list right there. And I have no problem with the kid making that decision. He wants to do it. That's good for him. But there's right now, it's a non-zero chance for him to get an offer from some Division I university to play quarterback for them. And
for $1 million.
Yeah, he's going to take it.
So
for sure. And
I don't know if you've seen the highlights of him playing quarterback.
Well, they showed them during the draft, and I had never seen him play football before, but holy shit, the kid's got an arm.
Yeah.
And maybe we're taking him in the football pool.
I'm like, wow, he looks like he could be ready to be drafted in the NFL. Not like not be a freshman, like not be a senior in high school, not even
Yeah,
a freshman, and like he's 4 years away from being able to be drafted in the NFL, and he looked that good. So,
yeah. Okay, another name for you about
yeah,
where you like how you felt they were getting drafted there, Riker Lee.
I think it's a reach, but if he can get his skating, if he can improve his skating, I think he's got the skills to be a really, you know, a one of their top six forwards. I think he could hit.
Well,
So,
along that
and
line, I think it's interesting him getting drafted ahead of Malcolm Spence and what's his name who we've talked about several times,
well,
who went just before him. Uh,
Murtagh,
Shane Bensagi. Sorry, Shane Bensagi.
yeah, yeah,
Of
Van
the three
Sage.
of them, I would take Bensagi before first, and then Spence second, and then Riker Lee third. And I just
But
found it interesting that Lee went so much before either of them.
obviously, they were looking for at the skills, right? Because Spence and Van Sage are going to be second, third. Like if they play second line, they're going to be the third player, the third best player on the second line. They're mostly going to be third line players, and I
Yes.
think they see Riker Lee as a top six minimum second line player.
Okay. And
So
the last one that we can talk about uh, was Cullen Potter. I know
yeah,
he's undersized, and you don't like well, you don't value the smaller guys.
Yeah, I value the bigger guys ahead of the smaller guys. Obviously, anybody that watches this podcast will know that. Um, but I think he's going to be a good player. Like I really like Colin Potter, and where he went to Calgary at 32, to me that makes sense. Like at the end of the draft, like if he was drafted between 25 and 32, I would have been good with it.
Well, Calgary's drafted a bunch of undersized guys.
Calgary's looking for at skill above size. If you look at Pelche, Connor Zary, uh, Serenado, or Carinara.
Yeah, no, I'm just calling up Calgary's draft history. There was the guy in 2021 or 2020 that Matt Coronado. That's what I'm
Coronado.
thinking.
Yeah. So if you can see they're going after skill above size.
Yeah.
So,
And it's
you know,
interesting because I think you need a mix of both.
yeah. But in the first, but if you look, they don't do that throughout the draft. They're just doing that with their early picks.
Okay. Okay, so I wanted to go in and just do a deep dive into Ottawa because you and I both being Ottawa Senators fans, and if you look
Mm-hmm.
here, there we go, my Ottawa Senators flag hanging proudly over my shoulder.
Yes.
This was, Jean, in my opinion, the greatest Ottawa Senators draft that we have seen since we have started these podcasts. And in like memory going back to maybe the Thomas Chabot draft year. Like it's been a long time since Ottawa has had a
Well,
draft
no.
that made
Let's
me
go
feel
to
okay. Well,
2020.
2020, but well, okay, Tyler Clevin, I got to give you 2020 because Tyler
2020
Clevin.
was pretty awesome.
Yes, when they won the lottery twice, basically.
Yes. And when you walk away with Stutzla, Sanderson,
Yeah.
Craig, the Levi Marilinen, and Tyler Clevin.
Well, but the disaster started in 2021 with Tyler Boucher.
Yes.
Like that,
Yes.
although Zach Ostapchuk was a great pick. Okay, Logan Hensler we've talked about.
Mhm.
I mean, we're both happy with that pick. I think you
Yes.
had Hensler a little bit higher than I did, but
But I think we need to talk about the move they made,
oh,
which was like
predicted
awesome.
by two bald guys.
Like traded down 2 spots, still get the guy you want because
Get a
they're looking
third round
for,
pick
and you got a third round pick number 67,
that you used in a trade to get Jordan Spence.
a a NHL right shot defenseman that you need as a insurance because you don't know how long it's going to take. Uh,
Yakimchuk.
no, the right shot defenseman that got hurt.
Oh, he's done.
What's his name?
The rollerblading guy.
Yes,
I can't think of his name. He's like on a sight, on a mind. I say I
but
can
like
look it up.
because he played really well until he got hurt. So you need an insurance for him, right?
But I think
And
Jordan Spence is better than he is.
nah, I'm a big fan of him. As soon as if I could know his name though, that would be awesome. So I'm pulling it up right now. Nah, Nick Jensen.
Yeah. Okay.
Jensen, and until he got hurt, he was playing awesome. And Shabbat has played as good as he's ever played since he came to the NHL.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's a good point.
So I think he was a big part of Shabbat having a great year. So I'm hoping that Jensen is there this year, and then we move on. So,
So
and
what
if
is that?
Jensen is there and Spence is your third pair right shot defenseman, it cost you nothing because you were going to take Ensler at 21. You backed up 2 spots. You gave up. You got 67, and then you gave up 67th and a 6th round pick to get Jordan Spence.
Oh,
So
it was brilliant. It was
yeah,
genius level GMing,
yeah,
which we just in Ottawa have not experienced this kind of savory, intelligent GMing
yeah.
in a long time. Like,
So
sorry, Dorian, but like you've just been shown up in the guy's first year. Like
yeah,
that's
Dorion would have given up a future 1st round pick to get Spence.
yeah, like well done.
So
Okay, so their next pick, which was late in the third round, they traded up a little bit to get him, which was a little bit surprising.
yeah, because they had the last pick in the 3rd round. They gave up a 7th round pick in 2027, I think, or 2026, one or two. So to move up from 96 to 93, and they took
Blake
Blake
Vanek,
Vanek.
Thomas Vanek's son. I knew nothing about this guy prior to one of the few guys at this point in the draft that I'd not was aware of. So I'll let you talk about him mostly. I know you've looked into him more than I have.
Like big, 6'4", can score. He played really well in high school hockey, and then he played I think it was like 14 or 15 games at the end of the season, or maybe a bit less. I think it's 12. I've looked at so much stats in the last month. And then he played well in the USHL. So to me, when I see a guy that played high school that dominates in high school, and Minnesota high school is not like any other high school league in the world, but it's still a level below the USHL and the CHL. But when you get a guy that played high school most of the season, dominated, then went to the USHL and plays well at also, like to me that's the difference. Last year, Le Tourneau was dominant in Saint Sebastian in the Toronto area. Went to the
Actually,
USHL.
it wasn't Saint Sebastian. It was St. Andrews College, which is
Okay,
near where I live.
St. Andrews. So and then he went to the USHL, and he
He's
was like a fish out of water.
stunk. He stunk.
Yeah, he couldn't keep up with the pace.
Yeah.
So for them to get a big guy like that can skate and can score, and like I love that pick, because remember, third round, especially the end of the third round, you're looking at maybe, I think it's 18% or 15% of the players make it
Yeah. And I
after
think this
the
year's third round is weaker than most.
yeah.
Certainly the back end it was weaker than most other years' third rounds.
So I love that pick.
Well,
And
after having looked at it now, I'm glad they have better scouts than me because I wouldn't have had him on my list. But well done there on that pick.
yeah.
I'll speak a little bit to Lucas Beckman because he's a goalie that I've been looking at for a while and loved him, loved him. And like I wanted Ottawa to get a goalie, and taking
Hmm.
Lucas Beckman, who is in my opinion, one of the top 5 goalies available this year.
Yeah.
Like he'd be the back end of that top 5. But damn, that's great. And he's your size, Jean. He's 6'2". What you I
Hmm.
believe you cherish 6'2".
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. All of it.
So, like beginning of I think that's the first pick of the fourth round. I think that's a great pick for the Sens at that point.
And he played for Team Canada in the U18s. He was the backup. And he, like, I think he led the league in wins, and he was one of the top goalies in the for goal against average and save percentage. And games played also. He led the
And
league in wins and games played.
and
So
what's important about this is he played better in the playoffs.
yeah.
He played really
So
well for I think it's Bakehomo was where he played.
yeah, Bakehomo.
We're calling him up here, but look at his stats in the playoffs. It was fair bit better, and that's
Yeah.
what I want in a goalie: is some guy that can perform when I need him to perform. So,
And that's after he played 52 games of the 68 regular season games.
as a 17-year-old,
Yeah.
so
So I
hell yeah.
love him.
Dmitry Asayev, which is the most un-Ottawa Senators pick either of us can ever remember.
Yep.
Like 5'9". I'm gonna just call up his 5'9" little guy. I hadn't heard of. I had briefly read up on him, like in my notes. I actually had read up on him, but I wasn't. I hadn't made too much of it. Hadn't looked at him too deep because I figured he wasn't getting drafted. But as it turned out, but if you look
Well,
at his numbers in the MHL, that's pretty good.
yeah.
I
And
I'm not
if
sure
you
he's going to translate to the NHL.
no, and I might have looked at him, but when I saw his size at 5'9", 148 pounds,
Yeah,
I'm positive that I kept moving.
I think the 148 pounds is more concerning than the 5'9". But like,
So
wow,
so
I'm sure
yeah,
there's air conditioning systems in some of the NHL ranks that are
yeah.
stronger than a 148-pound guy can handle.
So and Ottawa had not drafted a Russian player since 2005. That was 20 years ago.
And
20 years ago.
they're about to improve on that in a second here. I'm going to
Yes.
let you talk about Bruno because he's your guy.
Yes. Bruno Idzan is an overager. Um, but he was born in Croatia, and I think he's the first Croatian player ever drafted. But he came over to the US last year, and like look how well he played in I'm not like it says KHL, so but look at his stats: 21 goals in goals and 19 games this year.
Yeah, I believe that's a Swiss hockey league, actually, the Alps
Yeah.
HL. I'm not
Okay.
sure. But
So
21 goals in 19 games in any league except Pee Wee.
Yeah.
is damn good.
And then he went to the USHL, and I'm not sure if you guys saw his highlights, but he looked really good. 22 goals, 22 assists, 44 points, plus 27. Like, remember, he's from Croatia, played in Sweden, comes over to the US and puts up really good numbers. So I've looked at him, and I was hoping Ottawa would draft him
Well,
because
and I'm going to show this is a good time to show what. Well, no, let's talk briefly about the final guy, and then I'll show
yeah,
the league what we did, or whatever. Okay, the final goalie was another Russian player, second Russian player, which, I mean, like Jean said, never happens. Andrei Trofimov. I don't know this guy for Adam. The fact that they're scouting Russian guys now and bringing them over, that's awesome. I'm happy
yeah,
that they're starting to broaden their view of the player that they want.
yeah. And he played really well. Like, look at the save percentage, look at the goals against average. 6'2". You don't want a goalie to be shorter than that. Well, I don't. Um,
Again,
so
6'2".
and he just yeah, he's an overager. Like he was
He's
um he
he's not an
wasn't
over.
drafted last year.
He's
He's gonna
oh,
turn
okay.
19 on July 20th.
You're right. You're right. He was
So
eligible last
yeah,
year. Okay. So what Jean and I did this year, I'm going to stop sharing this, is as the Ottawa Senators were making their picks, I did this last year, and you'll see my picks from last year. And Jean joined me this year in doing this. What we did was, as Ottawa was on the clock, we would announce who we would pick. I got this idea from Will Scout. I'm sure he's a loyal listener as well.
yes.
So he does this with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I thought it would be interesting because Jean and I like very distinct, different players. I thought it would be a cool idea for us to do this uh, simultaneously and to see how different our teams looked over years.
Hmm.
So just briefly, last year I took Sam Dickinson, Andrew Basha, Clark Caswell, Colton Roberts, Luke Misa, and Justin Poirier. Uh, Maybe a bit undersized, but I still like Sam Dickinson and Andrew Basha as picks. I do like Clark Caswell and Colton Roberts as well. But this year, we'll spend more time on this year. Um, when Ottawa was on the clock at 23 and Lyndon Lakovic, I couldn't say no. And Jean, the genius that he is, jumped back to being the brains of the podcast. I
Yep.
have to pick up my good looks because he predicted Logan Hensler. And not to outdo that, but on his next pick with the third round pick, Jean went Bruno Idzin, which, like, high five, buddy. Like,
Thank you.
you win the draft this year. I took Philip Ekberg, who went in the seventh round of the NHL draft. So I feel good that he got picked. But I will say after that, I do like who I took. LJ Mooney. He went shortly after, I think. And shortly is probably the right word to use with
Yep.
LJ Mooney. I think he's 5'7".
5'7".
Yeah, you took Sverchek.
Yes.
I think he went
Mikhail
shortly after.
Sverchek.
Yeah. In the fifth round, I announced my pick one pick before, and it was Quinn Bochesney, who actually got picked one pick before, so I had to pivot. But I really like Petteri Rimpinen. I think you do as well, actually. So I think
Yep. Yep.
I'm happy with that pick for myself. You went with Owen Griffin. Do you want to talk on Owen Griffin? Like, the fact that he slipped to the fifth round in the NHL draft is kind of crazy.
Yes. And like, I think he had an awesome playoff with Oshawa was the top scorer. Imagine he was the top scorer for the Generals as a 17-year-old on a team that has
Some kid,
um,
some kid named Beckett.
Cal Ritchie and Beckett Seneca,
Yeah.
and the guy was the top scorer. So that to me, like the only issue, I think he's 5'9", 5'10". So It's
Highlight
but
this here.
I figured the skill at that at the end of the first the fifth round or
Can you
mid
still
fifth
hear me?
round. So yeah, I can hear you, but the image disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. All my system got shut down, so I'll just
So
talk for a second here.
yeah,
But I'm wondering if the lights just went out because it overheated. Trying out my new system in the basement today, everybody. So let's see here.
we're having we're like the NHL and the NHL draft with the difficult
There we go.
eh?
You can see my beautiful
There's
face again.
technical issues with the NHL draft.
Yeah, well, we don't have the budget for production staff yet, but we're working on it. Send me
Neither
your
did the
resume.
NHL. So
Okay, so just to finish this off, I took Arvid Drott and Aiden Park. I was blown away that Aiden Park was still there. Actually, like that kid's got skills. Um,
again, the little players, smaller players dropped in the draft this year.
yeah, I know.
That
Hey,
like
Jan Chauvin and Philip Ekberg, who I took in this third round, which maybe is a little embarrassing on my part, but I'm surprised he dropped, to be honest. He had a
yeah,
really good
he had
U18.
yes, he was top scorer by a lot at the U18s. So
So, okay, so that's and we'll just keep doing this every year until one of us dies or
until
by an actual NHL team.
we're not allowed to be on YouTube anymore.
I'm hoping we're still streaming. Well, it looks like we are. So there you go. Okay, good. Yeah, we're still good. Okay, so you wanted to just is there anything else you want to say on the draft, John?
No,
Before,
I really enjoyed it. It was long, and I hate the remote draft, by the way.
oh
So
my God,
I hope that they go back to having the teams there. Um,
the
I think
production of that with the interviews with the GMs and all that bullshit, just get rid of it.
yeah.
Just get rid of it.
So
I don't need to
yeah,
see it. I don't need to see the stars make the picks. Like all these things, they just dragged it out.
yeah. Like what I would have liked more, which they didn't do, and I understand why they didn't do it, is you know the NFL when like they have the remote teams, right?
Yeah.
But when they see a GM is on the phone calling around, they're showing the GM in the NFL draft, hey, look at
Something's
Belichick.
happened.
He's on the phone. He is like he's working the phone trying to make a deal work. To me, that would have made it more interesting than showing like putting the kid, he just got drafted. They're bawling their eyes out. And then like, okay, say hi to your new GM and your new coach. What do you think? What do you think I think?
Well,
Like
and
it's the
every
best day of my
every
life.
kid said the same freaking thing that everyone that I would say. Thank you
Yeah,
for drafting me. I'm gonna do work really hard to to make you proud or to make you know that it
yeah.
was worth it. Like they
Best
all
day of my
said
life.
the same thing.
Best day of my life. This is awesome. Thank you so much. It
Like
was
I don't need to see it.
yeah,
Let that be a private personal moment. And I think it kind of should be.
exactly. Instead, show us the behind the scenes. You don't need to put the volume on. Just show, hey, look at that. You know?
Look, look, Steve Stais is on they're on the clock, but they're on the phone right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably means they're making a trade. Who do you think they're making a trade to? Are they,
Yeah.
the two bald guys said they were going to make a trade with Nashville. Are they making a trade? Oh, looks like they're probably making a trade. Let's click on the national team and see if they're on the phone right now. Woo.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's more gripping TV than watching a teenager cry and cry
And
in front of a bunch of, well, I'm just going to
32
say
times.
this, a bunch of old white guys
Yeah.
sitting in a
Oh,
room. Like, yeah, no, that was awful TV. And it
yeah.
was 4.5 hours on Friday and then another 5+ hours or 5 hours on Saturday.
Yeah.
They got to find a better way. That was awful.
So
I like how the NFL does it too. And I like the NFL doing round one on one night, the next two rounds the next night, and then fire everything through just 30 seconds a pick. You don't
yeah.
need all this
Boom, boom, boom,
trading up.
boom.
You
Yeah.
don't need trading up in the late rounds. Nobody's taking your guy, especially this year. Nobody was taking your guy because everybody's lists were so bloody different. There were guys going in the seventh round that I'm sure people had in their third rounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
So,
Okay, so you wanted to talk about a DCHL trade.
well, did you see how many trades have been since we've been on?
To be honest, no. Only
There's two
because I'm not
pages.
one of the teams making trades. So
There's two
I'm
pages.
I'm calling it up right now here, but it is a lot. It is a lot. And apparently Nathan is off his meds again because he's made a lot of them
So 20 trades.
since in the week.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so let's call it.
did we review the like, yeah, we did that because it was last Sunday, and we reviewed the Kachuk McTavish from
Oh
O'Reilly.
wow, no, we're way back.
Did we review that one?
Okay, yeah, that's what one we did.
Okay.
We did Kachuk because he was broken. He broke it to us.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, and then Baines,
I mean, Archdeep Baines. I mean, okay.
for draft picks, and then a fifth round for 1.2 million. Lucas Reichel for
Has
Pius
nobody given
Suter.
up on Lucas Reichel yet?
Well, he was drafted in 2020.
Yeah, ahead of JJ Paterka,
Yes, in the first round,
like at
17th, if I
25 or
remember.
something. Was it
So he's
17?
23.
Okay, it was it was earlier than he should have been.
But so
Oh, you're talking 23 in the DCHL draft or in the NHL draft?
he's 23. No, he got drafted 17 in the NHL, but he's 23 years old now.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean, I don't really look at that trade as anything. Oh, okay. I think the Rangers may be trying to win more this year, I guess, with that trade.
so
Kevin Hayes going for Caleb Jones.
and for some reason Tampa Bay wants extra bids on Caleb Jones.
Okay.
Okay.
Why? But okay, but again, and I say this a lot with Zach's trades. What is Zach getting here?
Nothing.
So why is he giving away something for nothing?
I don't know.
Like he's gotta.
Let's move on.
Okay.
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 Charlie Coyle for Palayakanuk
And a second round pick.
and a second round pick, 2026.
And Charlie
So Coyle is
man.
on the last year of his contract, and he's a $9 or $10 million player.
Oh, he's that expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last year of his contract.
Okay, so that's not a bad trade for Boston, really.
Trades. And Tampa Bay is looking for, to do better this year, and he's got the cap space. So
yeah, he's watched what Montreal did, and he wants a piece of that.
yeah.
Okay, so the Ilya Samsonov, Pontus Holmberg, Nick Kempf, Maxence Gwinnett, all for Ty Nelson and a second round pick.
2 second round picks.
Wow, 2 second round picks. I don't understand why you want Ilya Samsonov, but okay.
Yeah. To me, that trade, Nathan, doesn't make any sense. But as I keep saying, Nathan somehow always comes out smelling like flowers.
Well, you just gotta watch. Like he's the guy at the Central Park with the cups and the ball, and he's moving them around. And where this isn't. He's not done.
No,
he's not done.
But I don't like that trade. I think I don't think he did well in that trade, but his team is still gonna be good at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yep.
So what do I know?
Exactly. Okay, so Alex Lyon, he traded away his goalie. Now I guess Samsonov's going to be a starting goalie this year, or his backup, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gets Carcone in the second round pick. Has he traded those picks yet?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so and then Montreal picking up a bunch of guys for Gavin McCarthy and $3 million.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Tyler Myers has a higher contract than what he's worth, but that's just historically he always has in this
I
league.
think it's just like depth players. So
Okay, so and we'll go to the
next
we'll round it
page.
off. Okay, now I talked to Zach about the Savoy Ostland for Kirby Doc and a first round pick. He really likes Kirby Doc. So
Yeah.
okay. I wouldn't have made this trade, but it's Zach. I wouldn't have made half his trades.
So
It's not awful.
It's Detroit. Yeah. Detroit's first round pick. He got 15. And the question is Matt Savoy more than a 25-point player? Because his first 2 years, he's 25 points a year.
And he's not shown himself to be an NHLer yet.
So to me, at picking at 15 is you're where is Noah Osland gonna end up?
Well, and is Victor Eklund available at 15? And I don't think in our draft, Victor Eklund's not going to be available at 15. So,
But Ben
like,
Kindle
let's see who he
could be.
gets at 15 is what I'm saying.
But Kindle could be, right? And
Well,
remember, Zach
or even
owns
Logan Hensler.
11, 13, and 15. And I think he owns 14 also.
Yeah. So, like, I'm willing to withhold criticism on this until I see what he gets at the pick at 15. So
It's 14. He owns 11, 13, and 14.
okay. Yeah, I know he owns 11. He reminds me of that every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nashville and Edmonton traded a bunch of picks.
I don't understand that. Like,
I don't want to pick.
that's 8 picks for 2. I know you got 2 second-round picks and but they're 2 late second-round picks.
I don't understand why Edmonton's making this trade.
And I don't understand why Nashville is giving up all those guys.
He probably just doesn't want to. He doesn't
Because
want assets, or he doesn't want to. See, again, this is the 60 asset rule in play.
but look at this. Like, Nashville gave up Edmonton's 3rd-round pick in 2026. It's going to be in the top 5 picks, right?
Yeah.
And he got Philly's 2nd-round pick in 2026. It's going to be in the bottom 5.
It's a bad trade.
So
And
I don't like it.
It's a bad trade that I think doesn't make sense for either side.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I mean, personally, I'd rather have the more picks because I can probably do more with the picks, but I don't want that many assets either. So unless unless he's selling them for cash, which is what he's going to try to do, but you have that many, nobody's buying that many picks.
But even if you sell them at $1 million each, I didn't understand it.
Okay, I have a question for you, Sean.
Yes.
Do you think New Jersey Devils' first round pick next year is more valuable than the Buffalo Sabres' first round pick this year?
What do you want it?
Well, no, because I was offering you the Buffalo's first round.
No,
pick
you told me that you didn't have the cash.
Oh, that's right. That's why we moved on from it. That's right. I
You
couldn't
said you
fit
didn't
Ryan
have
O'Reilly under the cap. But you
Yeah,
told
you
me
can.
that you wanted more than just that pick.
Yeah, and I asked New Jersey more, and he turned me down. But you were gone because you
Yeah,
didn't have
because
the
it was
cap
he's eight
space.
million. He's 8 million, and I would have been 500,000 over the cap. I remember now.
Okay,
My
so
apologies, Jean, for
no
airing our
problem.
grievances in public like this.
No
The
problem.
florist is on his way right
But
now.
if you want New Jersey's first round pick for Buffalo's first round pick, we can talk.
No, I've been trying to package it to Anaheim. Hi, Dan. Hopefully, if I can come up with something more than just that pick, I'd be willing to. But I'm hoping to get pick number 5 in this year's draft. So if I can put a package together, that would be great.
So
And Calgary's not answering my calls anymore either for Bo Horvat. So
really,
yeah,
is oh yeah, he's only at 4 million, eh?
yeah.
He's
Well,
not at
Bo
8.
fits well under my cap, and I made him an offer that was more than just that pick, and he's not replying. So I think
No,
he's trying to get more. He's being Vince.
no.
Okay, so here's the trade you wanted to talk about, the big one, the
Uh,
Trevor Moore
well,
trade.
not the big one. I just Trevor Moore and Vancouver's second round pick, which is the second last pick in the second round for Kaiser.
It's Kaiser.
And I'm like, if you told me like, and let's say because I spoke to Nathan, like I messaged Nathan, and Nathan is like, yeah, I'm trying to get younger, and I think he's got some potential. So I understand that, but to me, Trevor Moore or the second round pick is enough value for Kaiser. So I just thought it was a little bit of an overpay on Nathan's part. But again,
But it's Flax.
yes,
Flax only wants
and
overpayments.
I messaged Flax also, and he pointed out to me that he's not in the business of giving players away. So
Wait, what?
I know
Flax?
we're all shocked that Flax is not in the business of giving players away.
Uh,
Um, and so uh, it I just it did make a lot of sense to me, but we'll see if Kaiser ends up staying at the bottom pair for the Blackhawks this year.
yeah. Okay. Jordan Harris for a second round pick.
Yeah,
Verhage and Mukamadulin, and yes, I can pronounce that name smoothly.
I can't. I'm not even going to try.
For Lutz and Barzal.
Yeah, let's talk about that because that's a pretty big deal. Montreal keeps getting better, I think, because I don't see Lutz as I don't have a high opinion of Lutz. I don't know him personally, but as a player, I don't think he has a lot of value, and I think he was just added as an asset. You know what I mean? The 60 asset rule.
Yeah.
But Eric saves $4 million, gets Verhage, and gets a young defenseman to add to his depth. So
Who's the best player in this trade?
who's the best player?
Yeah. Is
It's
it
a
Barzal
toss-up.
or is it Verhage?
It's a toss-up because I will tell you, Barzal has been playing well in the DCHL, but he's still at 8.5 million. Verhage has not played as well, but he's a $4 million player. And Verhage's NHL career is going up, and Barzal's is going down.
Yeah.
So they're rated approximately the same, but I think the difference is the $4 million that they save.
Okay. Because Lutz and Mukamadulin, I mean, Mukamadulin is New Jersey now, or is he in San Jose? I can never
San Jose.
remember.
He's in
Okay.
San Jose.
Yeah, he was drafted by New Jersey and then was traded to San Jose.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's going to be a game changer defenseman. So
No, but I think he's going to be a bottom pair defenseman.
okay. Um, the Minnesota Boston trade.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that one?
Again, well, it's first and second in 2027. Braden Schneider, I like him, because he's a big right shot defenseman. Um, but I don't think he's much more than your number four, like on your team. And Farabee, to me, is like never been a fan, and he hasn't produced. I think he's been overrated. So
Well, he's never, yeah, the what people expect him to be, he's never gotten to that point.
yeah, so I don't like that's another trade, Nathan. Nathan's gonna think that I'm like beating up on him tonight.
Well, this is a weird trade because, I mean, Nathan does this every year when the picks open up.
Yeah,
I had offered him Alex Ovechkin for his first round pick in 2027.
and he
And
said
I
no.
think he had some interest in that. I think he just couldn't make salary cap work.
See, and I offered him a deal last night. When did he make that deal? Yeah, offered him a deal last night. He had made that deal already. Where he could have cleared $10 million off his cap, but
Well, at some point, him always trading away these picks, it's going to, and 2027 might be the year where he, and maybe not, but the year it does is the year it's really going to hurt.
yeah,
So, okay, Dave Rittich for a 5th round pick.
let's move on.
Yeah. And the last one, Josh Manson, 3rd round pick. Okay. I don't know. Whatever.
I think now that he got Schneider, you could trade away Manson,
Well, I think
and
he had to.
Schneider's cheaper, so that's good cap management on Nathan's part. There's something positive that I just said about Nathan's trades.
Well, he makes 2 types of trades. One, clear cap so that he can make the next trades. And then the second type of trade is the next trades where he's bringing in the guys.
I just want to, because sometimes I don't always check every player's stats and how they played. But Farabee last year had 25 points in 81 games, 11 goals. The year before had his career year, had 50 points. And besides that, 39, 34, 38. He's overpaid, and he's overvalued because I don't think he's that good.
Well,
No.
okay. So I mean, I'm good. I think we covered everything we talked about today.
Yep.
The draft was okay. The draft itself was great. The production of what the NHL did really sucked. But the intrigue and watching the Senators, those guys right there,
Yep.
was amazing. Great job, Steve Stamkos. I mean, honestly, best. I'm so excited about Logan Hensler. I am on the Logan train. And let's go. Start of the season. Go Sens, go.
Yep. It's I'm pumped for the next year, and I don't expect them to do a lot at the in free agency, even though
I
they
don't think
have
they
like
have to.
8.2 million, except go get a 4th line center and a 4th line winger.
Yeah, I don't know. Did we talk about it? But Claude
No.
Giroux signed today as well. So
Yeah.
on a great deal for the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah.
I hope he earns every penny of his bonus money.
So, oh, I didn't notice that. Dante Fabro just signed with Columbus. 4.4 years, 4.12 million.
Wow.
So,
Wow, he's rejuvenated his career a little
yeah,
bit
because
because
when he was
he
in
was a hot
Nashville,
mess.
he was done in
He was
Nashville.
Nashville, right?
Yeah.
And
So,
they dumped him. Like they
yeah. So, see, sometimes a different coach. Oh,
just
and Kevin Ball, 6 years at 5.3 million.
I saw that.
Former Ottawa 67.
Wow. And good on Kevin Ball had a good year last year, but I mean that's really planning on him playing like that long term. And you might
Yeah.
not know this, John, but sometimes guys in their contract year have a really good deal, like a really good year, and then they play like crap after that.
Yeah.
Like
So,
for the Calgary fans out there, I hope not, but this really does smell of that to me. It really does.
so
So
I hope not, because I'm a big fan.
okay, well,
Loved watching him play when he was with the 67s.
okay. You want to say anything else before we go?
No, I'm done. I'm good.
Okay, so we'll see everybody probably next week. We'll probably start doing UFA stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Well,
And
actually, in 2 weeks we're going to have the draft. I'll post some stuff on that either tonight or tomorrow.
okay,
But the
I was
draft
gonna
will
ask.
be starting in 2 weeks.
So
So
get ready.
get ready, start prepping.
Yes.
I know you haven't done a single thing on it, so
No, I'm gonna have to start looking at some prospects here and there.
yeah. I heard there's this guy called Porter Martone. I know you're
Yes.
picking at 4.
Yeah.
You might have heard of him.
Well, after Frondell. Frondell first.
And James Higgins.
And James Higgins. Oh, it could be Brady Martin.
4. Those guys are going to be there at 4.
Yeah.
If Misa or Schneider, I keep saying Schneider, if Misa or Schaefer fall, they're right there for you.
Yeah. So
Okay, boys, we're saying goodbye, and or girls, if there's female watching, hi, welcome to our show. If it's Rachel Dory, fan of your show, and we'll talk to you later.